Hello, it's Margarit Brigham, and I was inspired by my friend to have a little chat with him and with you, especially if you're watching this on YouTube. You may have seen, or maybe you don't know, that I've been giving Reiki. I have 31 Reiki. I'm on a pause right now because I'm moving in June, and there is quite a few up there. Anyways, Alex is a past client, and in some of the Reikis, I have mentioned him in some of his comments that he's made with the Reiki. And so he's inspired, and again, inspired this happening right now, to give a testimony of his experience with when I was giving him Reiki. So without further ado, Alex, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Marguerite, for having me. Yeah, so I have a little story that I know that Marguerite's doing her Reiki online right now, and she's got her cause for the swans, her swan project, and her new ebook. And I wanted to add to her cause, and right now in a need of a time of need. And I thought, what a great time for me to express how much you've done for me as my Reiki healer, my personal Reiki healer. And I think the best, obviously, and I'm going to share with all of our friends online about Reiki, or what I've experienced through your healing, because it's truly changed my life. So I think we went back about 2013, and I was basically hit rock bottom physically, emotionally, and mentally due to a back injury. So at the time, I basically had 3 herniated discs in my lower back, I was rendered useless. I was basically lying on my parents' floor in their basement apartment for 3 months. Literally eating on the floor, like I could not walk. I was to the desperation of a back surgery, which I was trying desperately to avoid doing. Mm-hmm. So at that time, my mom, who knew Marguerite through other connections, had said, "Hey, Alex, why don't you try Reiki? What are your thoughts on Reiki?" And I'm very open to this whole natural way of healing and alternative. People may think it's alternative. I think it's my primary go-to type of healing. But my mom had said, let me invite Marguerite to come over and work with you. I had never met you before. We were complete strangers. I'd never even heard anything about you, except for at this time. And I want to just backpedal a second, because 3 months on the floor and probably 6 months before that, at least, of chronic pain and still trying to work and trying to push through. I was a sales rep on the road, driving in a car from Toronto to Ottawa and all over the province. I was really beating my body down to try to stay on top of life, while trying to pop Tylenols and just thinking that this would go away. And it only got worse to the point where I'm on the floor. So I'm at my parents' house, and I was so desperate and so almost hopeless at the time. And I was talking to a really close friend of mine the night before I'd met you, Marguerite. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how long I can go on. What's happening? I was like, this is crazy. This is insane. What do I do? And my friend, also being in this sort of same mindset, he said, you have to really pray and you have to ask for a miracle. And he said, I think just pray for the archangels. Ask Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael to surround you and to heal you, and to just to remove this pain of the physical body. And I did. I had so much time on my hands of literally lying on the floor that's when I also incorporated so much meditation into my life. And I realized that I had a lot of time to either sink or swim, mentally at least. And so that night I visualized. I did a lot of visualization, a lot of meditation, and I called upon these archangels, which I was not as versed on at the time. I wasn't, I guess, receptive, because I never felt the need at the time. I was always really well and healthy, and I didn't bring as much angel work into my life. So I did that, had an amazing sleep, woke up the next morning, and then you arrived at the door with my mom. So as the Reiki session began, it was a hands-on experience. I think we did 3 or 4 in total.
I think we did 4 in total.
Yeah, it was around 4.
And can I just jump in for a minute?
Yeah, please.
Because from my perspective and what I was hearing from you, you were definitely a type A personality.
I still am. Yeah, I was. And that's one of my DNAs. I don't know. I try, but good point. Because so Margarit is got her hands on my back and she's working around my body, and I could feel the heat, number one, at my feet. I think you had started at my feet, or at some point you're at my feet with your hands, and I could feel the energy transmission between the body and your hands. That was the first, like, wow. And then just that energy of, like, there's a flow. And this is part of why I wanted to do this interview, is because if you've never experienced Reiki and you want a good healer, Margarit's the one to go to, because she's truly gifted, like truly in tune with the universe and spirit. So you feel this, I felt like a rush, almost like a tingle, like when you're kind of sleeping but you're not, and it was relaxing in that healing sense. And you had said to me, you know, Alex, you got to stop being a human doing and start being a human being. Start being and stop doing. And that was like, you know, slap number 1. That, like, I had to stop, because I was so worried and stressed about getting back on my feet, back to work, and not paying attention to what you had gathered. And that is, like, you're on the floor on your back for a reason, because it's time to rest. It's a time for healing. It's a time to just be in the moment, because this may not go away overnight, kind of thing. And you also got emotional, and you said, like, you may think I'm crazy, Alex, but you're surrounded by the archangels. Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael are in the room. And that's when I showed you my text. I said, look what my friend had just sent me on my phone. Like, I literally just prayed to the archangels last night. I was desperate for some angels and healing, whatever I could gather. And you said, yeah, there's archangels in here, and I do believe in them. So it wasn't like I thought you were out, you know, off your yeah, like you weren't off of your centeredness. You were definitely channeling the energy. And so I knew at that point that you were connected and that you were a good practitioner for me, and that the energy was flowing, the information was coming. I'm not a practitioner, but because of all this, in the end, I went and got my level 1. So thanks to you as well, that this story has inspired me to get my level 1 Reiki. So you then did some like your card readings with me.
Yeah, medicine cards.
Medicine cards. And this was another strange coincidence, in that there was a bird that you had pulled up. It was the cardinal and the grosbeak. And
what a memory you have.
You know, this was life changing. You've changed my whole healing, my whole belief and faith that, you know, we heal ourselves through each other, through that shared energy, and through. So the cardinal, oddly enough, where my parents live, where I was in the basement, it's a walkout basement, and it's all glass windows. And the whole time I was down there for 3 months, there was this cardinal that would just bang into the window constantly, all day, for months. And I was like, what is this cardinal doing? And then again, another woohoo coincidence, but like, here you are saying, like, there's a cardinal here for you. And I'm not sure offhand what the animal spirit is on that, but there's certainly a message there coming through you and the physical bird himself. Something was correlation. So I guess that was like the first session. You'd also mentioned like that the higher power was over me, like a father, like a God, like there's a father that's going to protect you and look over you. And I truly do believe that, because here I am today with no surgery. So I had a scheduled surgery back then. I think it was we had met around March. It was springtime of 2013, because the surgery was scheduled for October, because I was at my wit's end. I'm like, I'll schedule it and hope to God that I don't. Well, here I am today telling you that 3 herniated discs later, unable to walk, and I got out of surgery. So I also did some like massage therapy and other physical work along the way. But as you know, we did 3 or 4 sessions together, and I literally walked up the staircase one morning, and my family was like shocked because I remember by the 4th session, I told my mom, I'm super tired and I just want to sleep. Like, just let me sleep. Don't wake me up in the morning. And I slept for like 15 hours or something. It was crazy. I didn't wake up the whole time. And normally I do, because I'm in such pain throughout the night. And it was like another energetic lightning bolt of something. I don't know. It was just like something was healing. And I literally got up for the first time without screaming my head off.
Wow.
So, to those, again, like, I had to call you during your time in need and say, hey, I was in a time of need, and you've been my miracle worker and my healer. And you've really proven to me that, like, you're not only through your own goodwill and generosity, but just your energy and your genuine healing was effective, because I've got my back and I don't have to have surgery. And yeah, so, and then one last thing, sorry, I just want to step in, just want to mention the other bird that you had brought up in the cards was the red grosbeak, or the rose-breasted grosbeak. And this was very strange too, because after I left my parents, I was in transition from moving out of the city, because I knew that living in the city was also not a good thing for me. And I was living at a friend's cottage up north, and I showed up there, and the first birds that I started to see, which I had never seen in the wild before, were these red-breasted grosbeaks. So I was like, that's really strange, because months ago, like when I had met you, there was this card. So those 2 birds had, been in my consciousness. So, and they appeared. I've never seen those before. They're not the most common bird.
They're not.
So,
they're not.
So yeah. So then I just continue on now with Reiki, and I still believe in that. And I think it's an amazing healing, gentle energy that has no invasiveness to it, no surgery involved, none of that. And it's just the power of spirit, the power of the universal energy that helps us rebalance. And messages, like you say, like, just be.
Yeah.
And don't always be doing and thinking. And yeah, so that's what
I love the point that more and more hospitals are actually using it before surgery. So it helps people heal quicker.
Yep.
After the surgery. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even post-surgery too. If there was a surgery, I think a lot of people do it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they need to do things like this. And people out there that are watching, or maybe they're new to this, definitely explore your community and people that are like healers like Margarit. Utilize these natural ways of healing, because it's quite the experience that you have to experience on a personal level. It's something you have to be open to and actually have your own experience with your Reiki practitioner. Everyone might be a little bit different, or it may not be one shot, it might be 5,
Yeah.
But I'm still to this day so grateful for your healing and your help.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you. Yeah. And I'm so pleased that you did get level 1, because level 1 really is about healing yourself first. And level 2, then you're sending the Reiki out. You can do distant healing, you can heal animals, so on and so forth. You know, your room, you Reiki your walls.
Yeah. Yeah, I do it. I think plants too.
Yeah.
I try to save my plants.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. And, you know, for me, before I did the Reiki, I was actually, you know, using my own energy to heal people. A friend of mine was in a car accident and in a coma. So then I would go and I would, you know, just put my hands on, but it would drain me because I was actually giving from my own life force. Whereas the energy comes through you first and then goes out, right? So when I started it this year, it was just to really put my own oxygen mask on. First time really being selfish I'm like, I got to get into a habit of this. And so I got to challenge myself and go on YouTube and start to, you know, give the Reiki. And then, the new archangels started coming through, like Metatron, and giving some pretty harsh advice. But this year as well, even before doing the Reiki, the crystals have come through. So that was just something I started doing myself intuitively, adding crystals years ago. So I think I even had to ask you, are you open for me to put these rocks on you? Are they heavy? Are you okay?
And you gave me one, which I still have, the Moki balls, or the...
Oh, did I? Okay.
I still have it. I can get it right here. I just want to show everybody.
Ah.
I don't know if you can see that. Do you remember that?
Yes. Okay. Yep.
Because when you were doing, actually, you just reminded me of something. You had 2 of these.
Yep.
And one of them got lost. We couldn't find it in our Reiki session, and it was, for whatever reason, it was actually like tucked under the little... I was sleeping on like a futon almost on the floor, but you were looking for this other one, and because you had put them on me, and somehow it fell in between. So you said this was meant for you because you gave this to me, and I still have it. So yeah, that's just it, yeah. And I'm into the crystals now. I got a few, so that's my first one.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And that was funny too, because you know what? When I went to the crystal shop, I actually went to get a sphere, you know, like of something, but these Moki, I didn't like, I'm going, this is so ugly. Like, it's not a pretty nice little thing, right? And but they just kept drawing me. And then when I asked what it was and she gave me the message, it was like, okay. I do need it. Even though it's not a pretty little bauble, it had the power. It has the power.
Yeah. Well, whatever it was, it helped out. It helped me. And like you say, indirectly, it helps you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm distracted because there was the hummingbird and the Baltimore Oriole. The feet are right now. The hummingbird was just like flying back and forth in front of the window. So yeah, the animals, I mean, we used to know at one time, or societies would say that nature speaks to us through the animals, and we've forgotten to acknowledge or try to even learn what they are. And they've also said it's your responsibility when they do come into your energy field, into your life, to study them, study what that message is.
Well, it's, the natives did all that too, right? They're very connected to nature, connected to the animal spirits, right? Their spirit there.
Yeah.
And it talks and gives us messages and lessons. There's a lot of lessons to be learned from animals if we just sit and watch and, again, be. We're so busy. So many people don't even recognize nature. And the ones that are in that moment will actually see and observe what it's telling us or what it's offering us. There's a lot of gifts there. So that's one of the reasons why I left the city life, was because in addition to Reiki, I mean, I also did massage therapy and things like that, but nature was one of my biggest healers, as the foundation of my healing. So just on every level. So yeah, nature is a necessity, people. We need it.
We do.
We are nature, right? We are nature.
We are nature, yes.
We need to be a part of it.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. And it helps you have the good vibrations, or to hold the good vibrations. So if you're getting Reiki, and then if you can go out and, you know, nature will continue to entrain that vibration.
Yeah. And it's quiet. That's the nice thing. The nature is silence. It's a quiet space where your body can actually just de-stress.
Yeah.
Because I'm so guilty of that, being so busy and passionate and busy-bodied and somewhat hyper, I guess. But that's just because I have to be in nature to bring that down again all the time and keep the calm, because I get so busy.
Right.
By nature, do. So you got to be reminded.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, nature is kind of like you can slow down to speed up.
Yeah.
After you've been out there with, yeah.
And speaking of birds and nature, you have again, if there's anyone out there that's watching, or new listeners or new followers for Margarit, you're doing your Swan ebook, right? And you have your cause for the swans who have helped you.
Yes.
So you're part of your journey and healing is through the swans, which I bought your calendar. It's amazing. I bought it for my mom's birthday, and she loves it. So I think everyone should, instead of giving like a conventional card, honestly, check out the calendars, because they have a message every day. They have a photo. So you're supporting like the local artists of the photographs. Is that right, Margarit? The photography is local artists?
No, it's me.
The photography is yours?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So, well, you're the local artist then. I thought it was
from my phone.
Oh, okay. So you're supporting Margarit's cause. I didn't realize that. I knew you were doing the calendars, but I didn't know you took the photos.
Yes.
Okay. So all the more better then. And you're supporting the local swans, obviously, in your area, which have come back after 200 years. 200
years, yes. So they were extinct here. They're native to Ontario. So it was one man in 1982 who brought the swans back, and they had to get eggs from Alaska. So there were 0 in Ontario, and I think 33 in all of North America in 1982. So to me, I was actually looking at the story, The Little Prince. Do you know that book? The Little Prince?
Yeah.
And because I added this line, so the fox, when he meets the fox, and the fox says, "Will you tame me?" And the little prince says, "What does tame mean?" And he says that when you tame me, we become a part, like you pay attention to me. So when you pay attention to something, then it becomes sacred, and then you can become a part of it. And that's exactly what the swans, before I knew anything about them and this story. So that calendar, yeah, it's on my Patreon page. It still can be ordered. So that's the 2019, and those funds went to fight their winter home. So, they're already on this fragile comeback, and then this marina wants to, anyways, the fight was won. So, but every $5 from that calendar went to the Trumpeter Swan Coalition, and then for the 2020, and I have enough photos for 2021, so at least 2 more calendars, the funds will go to the Swan Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, because the coalition, the Trumpeter Swan Coalition, is actually going to be disbanded by 2020.
Okay.
But they'll always need the hospitals because, yeah, and it's only one woman working it in her home.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So she needs some support.
yeah, yeah. And so the ebook is an amazing story because it's a couple that I met, and there's volunteer drivers here, so they brought me to my doctor, which isn't half hour away. And when we're driving by the swans, they said these swans came from our swans. So they were part of the restoration program for 25 years, and I was handed 40 pages of Mr. Soul's memoirs. So I'm already writing one book, and I had to get this out now because it's history.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was saying to you, you know, if your grandparents or great-grandparents were living in Ontario and they lived and died before 1982, they never would have experienced the Trumpeter Swan, right?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you miss something? How do you have a connection with something that you've never known?
Yeah. Yeah. We're very lucky.
Yeah. So I have so much content still to upload on the Patreon. I call it soul food because if the swans can heal me from these deep soul wounds, yeah, they can heal anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there is, yeah, so I'll just go right into that with the Patreon. And right now I'm also doing a Funly. So the Patreon it's more of the homepage for the swans and myself. And also, you know, the videos, stories, pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Funly is till the end of June. I think there's 43 days left. Okay. And that is to help me get moved. Yeah, because it's a very, I was a woman interrupted with my health last year. And in Ontario, unfortunately, my doctor said you can't work and you need to go on disability. And so then you have to apply and be accepted on social assistance. So I'm really risking, this is like a leap, I'm risking my safety net because if I get what I'm asking for, because I came from an emergency situation here to my friend who's now selling, but yeah, I don't have a vehicle, hardly any possessions. Yeah, I could be jeopardizing my whole, you know, being on social assistance, but it's, you know, my back's against the wall. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to do, stand for yourself and ask. And so I just want to share this little, I love this little thing here. It's only $10. So this is just someone who wrote an article in the paper, and we were doing sort of a campaign, $10 campaign. And he says, the thing about $10 is if you have it, it isn't worth a whole lot. If you don't have $10 and desperately need it, it feels like it might as well be 10,000. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's talking about, there's a survey, almost half of Canadians are $200 from insolvency, as outlined in the recent Globe and Mail story. The tale of woe is different across the country, ranging from, you know, he talks about different provinces, but Ontario, who's, you know, been this economic engine of the country, stands at 48% of residents basically treading water each month. These facts are hard to fathom considering the apparent wealth in a country such as Canada. Mm-hmm. And do you want me to keep going?
Sure. Just give us a few, maybe the viewers, an idea of, I'm sure they can relate. I'm sure there's viewers out there that are in need or struggling at times, as you are right now, dealing with some, you know, life struggles, trying to find a safe home.
Yeah, and safety is key, right?
You know, and so, there are times in life when we're in need and we need some help. We need to rely on community, and that's where I came to you, because I knew about your situation. You had expressed to me that you're going through this and that you need any kind of help from people, whether it's financial or like you're saying, the community's helping with free rides, or housing is huge. I mean, nobody wants to feel homeless. Nobody wants to feel you've got till June 1st to find housing. And so that's when I saw your previous video where I said, I want to really like emphasize how much you've done for me and for many other people, I'm sure, that you've done Reiki work with. And we have to come together as a community, because the world is really in need right now in many areas, not just our next door neighbors, but we do have to help one another. And, you know, I definitely, you know, I try to support your calendar, and you got your Fundly page. So I encourage people to help each other in life during struggling times. And I especially, like I said, have come to you because anybody who you do offer a service to people, which is your Reiki. And so sometimes we have to do the best we can to be resourceful with what we have. And anybody who's looking for a Reiki practitioner, or anybody who you can offer that online as well, correct? Like over the internet. And in person, whenever you move. I guess right now you're taking a bit of a back seat to just heal and get yourself, you know, settled again. But I would highly recommend anybody to take advantage of the fact that you offer such a healing remedy and the Reiki, and support that local economy and support you in ways at this time. Because like that article is saying, there's more than many people, 50% or whatever, that is $200 away from insolvency. But we can all give a few dollars to help someone in need. Like you said, $10. I was telling you, like, Margarit, $20 isn't going to make me poor, and it's not going to make me rich, but if it helps you out, hey, then, you know, we help one another, right? So hopefully people can see that, because it could happen to any of us. It wasn't something you created or expected.
No.
You know, like my situation, I was out of work. I was out of rock bottom, 3 months with nothing, no means of being able to work, not even function. And thank God I had support, but not all of us are so lucky or so fortunate with a large family or circle of friends. Because I'm not on social media or anything that we're doing today with Fundly and Patreon. And so I think these are great things for people to step up and say, hey, here's a couple dollars to help out somebody in need. It's not a big deal, but to you it is.
Yeah.
Because it's a time sensitive thing, right?
Very time sensitive.
We're rushing to find some housing, which is a huge issue. It's a huge shortage.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the in between, right? So by August, if I get disability, which, you know, they're pretty certain I will, when I go to the court, then I'll have a bit more money. But right now I don't even get $700 a month. So, you know, there's a place not far, like Fergus, and that was $650. Well, you know, you're limited. So Ontario Works says, well, you know, you can't take that place because you can't live.
Yeah.
Right? So you're in this, so many limitations because of your poor health, and this is where they put you, right? But then not only do they know everything about you, and, you know, but then you're also, it's like, well, what am I supposed to find? And this is just a bedroom in someone's house. So you don't even know who they are. Like, it's a very sad situation. And I can start advocating for myself right now because my back is up against the wall. But last year, there's no way.
No.
There's no way. So it is kind of an awareness for other people who are ill, and we think we're in a rich country, but we're not. And yeah, you know,
Yeah, a lot of systems are broken, and I want to say that it takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing, and that is to take the time and heal. Because sometimes I totally understand and I agree that sometimes we just can't take on a job at the time when you're trying to heal. You need that time and that space to
mm-hmm.
just heal and get yourself recentered so that you can get yourself back on your feet. So, you know, that bridge of help is not really available so easily in the systems that are in place right now. So that's where these, you know, interviews and awareness and different funding sites that help share stories that people don't know are going on. People don't know that this is happening in their backyard. They just think that everything's available and you get a house and you get a check from the government. It doesn't always work so easily, and sometimes you need that bridge. And you know, so
and it's really hard to heal. I mean, you know, I'm going to my doctor's a couple times a month. You're like just always doing appointments, and then you have tons of paperwork, and it's like, you know, luckily I have a team here that's helping me. Mm-hmm. And because I couldn't think. I mean, you get brain fog anyways, but then you're bounced here. Now you got to go to this appointment. Now you got to go to that appointment. Now, you know, and it's like,
I've been there. I know.
Yeah.
It is your full-time job.
Yeah.
I've been there. I know exactly what you're referring to. I went to chiropractors and massage therapists and acupuncturists and surgeons' offices and x-rays and MRIs, and it's stressful because you don't know the outcome of your well-being.
Yeah.
You want the answer. You just want to be okay. You just want to rest and know that everything's fine. Mm-hmm. So again, I don't think at the time when I was in 2013, if they had such sites like this or such avenues of asking for some support, but I know what it's like. It was very, very tough. I lost a lot. I lost a lot of my hard work in life. And so it's not easy. And I think people will relate. I hope that people see that health is your wealth, and health is it's your everything. And when you lose it,
yeah,
the systems are not always working to help you, or they're just deficient. There's not enough resources to go around. So that's where we have to be as humble as you have been in reaching out and really just asking straight up that times are tough. You're at rock bottom. Can anyone help me? Mm-hmm. That's a very humbling, and it's a very courageous thing to do that you're doing and working your way through this. So yeah.
Thank you, Alex. It's nice to, you know, have you in my corner. It's funny who shows up.
People, out of nowhere.
Yeah, the people that you think that are going to care and who say that, you know, they love you, and then they leave you because you're in some vulnerability and weakness, and it's like then they pounce on you. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, they haven't witnessed it themselves sometimes, and that's where I realized that you needed help, because I've been there, and I know.
Right.
I hope that our interview today with viewers promotes you as a Reiki healer. That was my main thing. I thought this would be a great idea to showcase how great you've helped me, anyways, and but to
and maybe that's the gift that's come out of this. Sorry, just to jump in, because. You know, since 1997 until, you know, when 2017, right? I was a yoga teacher, and I've taught other people to be yoga teachers. I actually, you know, opened the first yoga studio in Orangeville many years ago, 2002, and trained 11 people to become yoga teachers. And it's like, okay, now where's everybody when I need help?
Yeah. Yeah. But you're asking now, you know, you're out there asking, and you're working away at your books, and you're trying to save these swans that have helped you so much.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's it can be a blessing in disguise. It doesn't feel like it because I'm in the real crisis at the moment, but I do see.
There's light at the end of the tunnel, I think.
Yeah.
I hope for you.
Yeah.
Like I say, the miracles are on their way. We just don't know when, right?
Yes.
So
Yes, and I even think about that with Mr. Soul. So when I met them and I said I was writing the Miracle Healing Swan book, right? He said he had some writings for me, and they're all handwritten. So he was going to be handwriting them out, and what he ended up doing was typing them. So all those months that I can't even get off the couch. I mean, if you see past some of my past Reikis, like I was the ugly duckling. I'm just showing up in my onesie, right? However I was, and here he was learning a new skill and typing this all out for me. So yeah, things could be happening, and we don't see them. And I'm just glad I held on.
yeah, that's all we can do sometimes. Just keep trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have any last words?
No, I think I'm just happy that you invited me on, and I'm glad that I was able to share your story with everybody, because I've never really, no one knows how much, except for my close friends and family. So, I'm so happy to share like the remarkable experience that I've had with you with Reiki. So I hope that other people just open their hearts and open up their minds to Reiki, and also that the universal energy, that we support each other, and that we support community, and we help one another. And these are times of need right now. It's just the way it is. So
Yeah.
thank you. And I hope that more people will call upon you and use your service, and hopefully that helps you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess really what we're saying too, bottom line, is acknowledging that, for a better future, it is in connection, not separation, right?
Yeah.
And to motivate more people to
Helping each other and paying it forward, giving back, right? Giving back and remembering those people who have helped us, and not just, we're all going to need help one day. Life is not a perfect scenario. So
yeah, that's that song "Stand by Me."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all I have. I hope people that enjoyed our little chit chat today.
Yes, me too. I'm just thrilled. I cannot believe the memory that you have.
Oh, it was life-changing. It was a life-changing healing moment that I never, again, the miracle, my mom saying, "Hey, what are your thoughts on Reiki? Why don't we bring these miracles, and these things come through people?"
Yeah, well, we are the channel and the voice of the divine, right?
Yeah, I didn't know you. It was through my mom, and just that was the gift.
Yeah.
Right? That was the miracle healing for me. I would say a huge portion of it. Yeah. So I'm so glad I finally, after all these years, have been able to share this publicly with people, because you are a remarkable healer, and I know I have canceled surgery papers.
Yeah.
No more surgeons on but there's none of that. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and look at this, all these years later, I get to have this beautiful.
Yeah, and we never really kept in touch. We haven't, it was just sporadic.
Yeah, I think that was it. I might have been, maybe 2 weeks into the Reiki, and you just happened to reach out to me and said, "Can I give your name to a friend?" And I said, "Well, by the way, I'm doing Reiki on YouTube." She could go there and get some healing.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we've been in touch since. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Margarit.
Thank you.
And I hope that more support comes your way. I hope people help you out in this.
Their hearts.
June 1st is coming pretty quick, but you're going to be okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you all for listening. If you're new, please hit subscribe and take advantage of the 31 videos because most of them will be on the Patreon page when I'm on the other side. Probably, I think I said mid-June, but might be more like July. So there's some pretty powerful archangels that came through, Mother Mary that's come through, definitely the violet flame. Yeah, I just never know. Now, so that's the kind of fun part, right? Just show up and let it move through you. We are all an energy signature, and even if they've passed on the other side, there's still that energy signature that you can tune into. So, yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to close off here. Big love.
Take care.
Okay, stop.